Welcome to Inside the Mind of a One of a Kind. It's the main man, Braethun. One day is not enough. One day is never enough, y'all. I'm coming on to share my thoughts regarding this ice out because although I see it as a valiant effort, I see the need for more communication, more collaboration, more planning, right? I don't by any means believe anyone is illegal or an alien or should not be allowed to live somewhere. I'm actually trying to hold the frequency and the consciousness of us getting beyond borders, all right? And celebrating the uniqueness of all the wonderful colors of humanity. Because I like to add a E when I'm spelling that word. My problem is one day is not enough. We can't just turn off the world for one day and say enough is enough. You know, let's think back to COVID, for instance. COVID, you know, we had several days where things were in question. I'm outside, downtown, looking around and seeing everybody still moving along, everybody still showing up and showing out for a system that nobody really believes in, participating in a delusional reality. You know, like, we're so quick to call so many people delusional for different situations aside from a collective conditioning of modern day slavery. As far as I'm concerned, down that street are several people who decided to come to work today. Some people who had to come to work today. You know, it's great. No work, no school, no shopping. It's a great concept. I'm here for it. But like, we still have to plan for these types of events while taking care of our basic necessities. So my question is, how do we do that? How do we plan for an event like this and make sure that everyone is still taken care of? Because so many people depend upon this system, y'all. So many people depend upon it. And, you know, we need to, in order to have the smoothest transition between, you know, seemingly, gosh, dude, like, counter opposite concepts and ways of living, like, we have to transition from one system to another. We can't just turn off the system. We have to replace it with something better, where it is irrefutable to everyone involved that everyone is going to benefit more than they did before. So, you know, I'm pleased to see people like taking action and, you know, standing up for, you know, basic human rights and ways of being treated. You know, it is absurd. And yet I also think about like the ICE camps a few years ago running around on the news. Like, why weren't we up in arms and protesting and doing things for that? And maybe we were, and it just wasn't being televised. Something to consider. The news doesn't always advertise when people are protesting against its creators. Because these people do create the news, don't make any mistake about it. It's all fabricated and forged stories to incite fear, to distract and take attention away from, which brings me to another point. You know, we're getting all riled up over two people, you know, being effectively murdered by these ICE agents, right? Why is there so much hubbub about this when we've got, you know, wars taking place all around the world? When we have, you know, alphabet soup agencies listening in on every conversation, including this one. when we've got, terrorist cells, and when we've got cults, digital cults that are kidnapping and stealing children and trafficking them around the world. Why aren't, there's so many other reasons to be in protest, and yet we're doing it over two individuals. And so my question is this not orchestrated? Is this not what they want? They being, the people who think that they rule the world, the people who think that they own everyone else, the people, who think that they control everything because of the blood inside of them. And if that's the case, if the answer is yes, then what else is going on? What else is taking place today, of all days, despite this possible distraction? We have to be thinking more than we have to be feeling, unfortunately. Because as great as it is to feel, people who seek to take advantage of you, people who will betray you, people who seek only to benefit themselves, they will pretend as if they're thinking about you. I know this from firsthand experience. Narcissistic abuse 101. Family, friends, lovers. I've seen it all before. I know this playbook so well at this point. And what they want you to do is to be reactive, to distract your energy and attention from creating actual difference. One day is never enough. Sounds like a James Bond title. So the question is, what else are they doing while they've got us distracted? What else is taking place in the world today? What documents are being signed underneath the table? What actions, what covert actions are being taken in some foreign land? You see where I'm going with this, people? We have to get particular about the words that we're using. We have to think about the language, which is why I don't subscribe to all of these things. Well, I, as part of my divine birthright as a child of God, need a passport, need a form of identification for the governments of man to walk across, a gift from God called Mother Earth, called my home. I don't think so. And if enough people thought this way, if enough people were just like, nah, not going to have that, then we wouldn't have to take such drastic reactive action in these ways. And that's at least how I'm thinking about it. So, players, take it as you will. The choice is yours. Some people are showing up to work today, some people are not, and they might feel good about themselves putting a dent in the system for a day, but that's a wicked beast with some incredible self-healing qualities, given enough blood, because it's vampiric out here. Alright, that's all I got to say before I carry on with my day. Smooches.